Ever pondered the possibility of paying a bond with a credit card? It's an intriguing question, isn't it? In today's increasingly digital world, it seems logical that plastic money could be used for such transactions. But is it really feasible? To answer this first, it's important to understand what a bond is. A bond, in its simplest form, is a loan you're giving to a company or government. In exchange, they promise to return your money on a specified maturity date, along with periodic interest payments. Now the burning question, can you use a credit card to pay for a bond? The answer is not as straightforward as you might think. While it's technically possible, very few, if any, bond issuers accept credit cards due to the processing fees involved. They typically prefer bank transfers or checks, so while it's not impossible, it's highly unlikely. Next, can you make a payment on a bond? Again, the answer is yes and no. Once you've bought a bond, you don't need to make further payments. You simply wait for the bond to mature to get your initial investment back. However, if the bond is a type of security deposit, like a rental bond, then yes, you can make payments towards it. Now let's move on to whether a bond affects your credit. A traditional bond, like a government or corporate bond, won't impact your credit score. It's seen as an investment, not a loan. However, a bond used as a security deposit could potentially affect your credit if not handled properly. Lastly, does a bond have to be cash? Not necessarily. While cash is often preferred, bonds can also be purchased with assets like stocks or property. However, this is more complex and typically involves a broker or financial advisor. So, to summarize, can you pay a bond with a credit card? Technically yes, but it's not common practice. Can you make a payment on a bond? It depends on the type of bond. Does a bond affect your credit? Not in most cases. And does a bond have to be cash? Not always, but it's often the simplest method. This might seem like a lot to process, but it's crucial to understand these points when dealing with bonds. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to your finances.